We pretty much have an idea, as I've said in numerous videos, and we've heard on the wonderful world of the interweb, that NBA is expanding, and it's going to most likely be Vegas and Seattle. But there has been a ton of other ideas that many people have thrown all over the Twitter world, the info superhighway world. And you know what? Let's open the bar. Let's talk about it. Let's jump right into the chase, as another episode of Jimmy Jam Sessions is here, but I'm straightforward, straight shooting. Let's just jump right into it. There's a subscribe button. Hit that if you want to see and be alerted for anything new in the variety world that we do. But we all know, even though I don't really jump on NBA, I've been doing a little bit lately just because of the fact that there is a lot of stuff going on with the NFL quieting down in free agency for the time being before we hit the draft, and hockey's on its way to the playoff run. We now jump into the point where the NBA is getting there too, but there is enough to go on for numerous things. Like, the NBA is going to be expanding, and I've made a couple of videos already of Seattle and Vegas. What could they be? What could they look like? What would they name the teams? What jersey concepts? I've done them both. They're on, and you may find them whenever. But there were other knickknacks that were going on. First of all, let me just point out the obvious thing. First of all, there are many things, as I said. Let's jump into the easy part. And the easy part is simply this. Las Vegas and Seattle are coming. There are a bunch, like a handful, a fistful of other cities that would easily jump into this. Now, Adam Silver, NBA commissioner, has said he's going to pretty much look at all the possibilities to other cities. We're talking Mexico City. We're talking Nashville, Tampa, Kansas City. There's enough. Even Vancouver to come back. But all fingers are pointing, and all the odds, 95%, 98, 99, 9.95, whatever you want to say it, is leaning towards Vegas and Seattle. And the plans are already pretty much not necessarily in stone, but they're pretty much ready to rock. Seattle would be the Sonics. Unlike some other godforsaken thing that the wind changes direction, they will be something else. But the Seattle Sonics are coming back. They will play in Climate Pledge Arena, basically the $250 million upgrade to what the Key Arena was back in the 90s. That pretty much is going to be set in stone. They just recently are in negotiation, and they're going to get everything back from the OKC Thunder, and the Sonics will be back eventually. Now, with Vegas, Vegas is starting to become a hotbed with sports in the last 7, 8 to 9, probably in the last 10 years, but without a doubt, it's starting to become a hotbed. Besides all the old school things way back in the day, the gangsters, the gambling, and all. Now it's the shows, the concerts, not just World Poker Tour, not just UFC, not just boxing matches at Mandalay Bay and whatever. Vegas is coming. They will most likely play in the T-Mobile Center where the Vegas Golden Knights play, and then they'll probably build another arena right around 2030, right around that ballpark somewhat. But Vegas is already got the Raiders. They're going to get the Oakland A's eventually when the ballpark is done. The Golden Knights already have a Stanley Cup. Vegas is going to be a hotbed once again for anything, and mostly sports is going to be at it. Now that the worldwide thing of sports gambling has gone worldwide elsewhere, it's going to happen. Vegas and Seattle are coming, and if it is, it's going to be 2028 is what Adam Silver is projecting. Personally, me as a sports person that I dealt with most of my time, I have to think, why could you not do this sooner? Vegas has the arena. Seattle just built their arena, but you could not make this thing happen any sooner. Why? Don't know. But when this is official, then everyone's going to wonder what's going to happen, of who the teams are going to be, whether they're going to be named and whatever. But Seattle and Vegas are coming, and that will make 32 teams. They jump into the pool with the NFL and the NHL with 32 squads. So it is needed. Now baseball has to do it. Now, with Seattle and Vegas on their way, there was other teams other cities that are also trying to throw their name in. But when they do that, you're almost starting to throw a little bit of a monkey wrench in the whole entire thing. First things first, before you even think to other cities, you're going to bring Seattle and Vegas into the league, which means you're bringing two Western Conference teams into the fruition. It's almost identical to what happened with the NHL when Vegas came in, and a handful of years later, even after the pandemic, the Seattle Kraken came in, both two Western Conference teams. Now here you are in the NBA, and this is the other big talk of the entire league, is when Seattle and Vegas come into the league, who's moving to the Eastern Conference? Many ideas have already been thrown out, but the big grab bag, whatever you want to call it, news is either going to be Minnesota, New Orleans, or Memphis. Now, if you obviously go and look through whatever geographic figure you look at through Google or anything else online, you will see Memphis is the closest thing to Eastern Conference. New Orleans is practically next. Minnesota is more Western Conference. And Memphis would be the easy move because they're the farthest east. However, there is the possibility that Minnesota could very well be that team. And it was actually put out by Fox News' Rachel Nichols, saying it's a possibility that Minnesota would be the one going to the East, because if they did, number one, the travel of the Western Conference would be cut for Minnesota because they would be the farthest east, and they won't have to travel so far for the Western Conference teams. Number two is you would practically be getting a near NFC North type of division with Chicago, and even Milwaukee, possibly Indiana. That division would be fire. So Minnesota, and also another thing, you have Minnesota being pretty much a high-end, not a superpower, but you will be right up there with the top-tier teams in the Eastern Conference with a Boston, with a New York, with possibly a Miami, possibly, the possibilities are endless. We know the Eastern Conference is not as big as the Western Conference, and she was throwing out the idea of Anthony Edwards versus Wemby, a Timberwolves Spurs final down the road, years down the road. Who knows what will happen? So either way, I wouldn't care what would happen. But even though Minnesota is farther off, travel would be cut, and Minnesota would actually end up being in the Eastern Conference. Memphis does make sense, but you'd have to figure out for yourself what would be the best kick out of who would move to the Eastern Conference. Because either way, both ideas make sense. And I'll throw this at real quick. And you know what? When I do this channel, I'm still 2.5 years in, and I'm still growing. But if I'm going to make a hot take, why not? Like I said before, Seattle and Vegas are coming, but there are a handful of teams and cities, I keep messing that up, cities that also want an NBA franchise. I mean, I even did stuff that Pittsburgh deserves it, but Pittsburgh you would think 7, 8, or 9 other cities before you would think of Pittsburgh. Cincinnati, Tampa, Kansas City, Columbus, Vancouver, Mexico City, you name it, Louisville's been up there. So, but then recently, I've been thinking to myself about how some cities deserve to have something, some cities don't deserve anything because they can't support them. And then recently, I looked on a thing of Draymond Green's podcast saying that he would be a good idea if the Memphis Grizzlies moved to Nashville, and Nashville's name has been brought up. Nashville was actually brought up a handful of times in the last week and a half. Not mostly, but Stephen A. Smith actually said, give Nashville the shot over Seattle, but Seattle's is pretty much 95% ready to go. They're ready to go. Nashville is such a growing area that they know they're getting the Titans rebrand. They're possibly getting the Major League Baseball. The Nashville Predators are hot, even though they're a little bit down, but they've got hockey and they love their hockey, and they just got Major League Soccer. Here's the weird thing. I would agree with Draymond Green. However, Memphis is also one of those cities that the Grizzlies are all they have. Memphis is a good city for visiting the rock and roll stuff and everything like that. They are not a good sports city. They're a good sports city for the minor league and everything else that they have there. They cannot support. They can't support. They had the Memphis Showboats twice. You had the Showboats in the XFL, in the Liberty Bowl. You only get 4,000 a game, and it started dwindling down. Why should we give you an NBA? Why should we give you the NBA? Well, first of all, the NBA, that team was a given of Vancouver can't do anything in Vancouver, so we're moving the team, and Memphis was the only city available. And Memphis took it, and Memphis has flourished. Memphis is one of a handful of cities in the NBA. That's all they have. Sacramento's that. San Antonio's that. Oklahoma City's that. And Memphis is the other. But Memphis, they couldn't hold the Showboats, and the only other major thing big in Memphis is the University of Memphis. I mean, minor league soccer, you have a minor league baseball team. You don't have anything else. And I'll tell you right now, and this is a hot take, if by some way, shape, or form somebody would put up $500 million and just hand it to Memphis and just go like, I know this is a new building, FedEx Forum. Here's a check. Pack your stuff next season and bring everything over to Bridgestone, and you can. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's a weird take. It's a hot take. It's not going to happen. But what if Memphis moved to Nashville? That team would be 1,000 times more attractive to play than Memphis. It's a hot take. It's weird, but guess what? Seattle and Vegas is coming, and the NBA community, it's a worldwide community, better get used to seeing, and some people, they can't wait for 2028. It's weird. There's enough going on the news and the interweb. Go find it. Draymond Green threw his idea in. LeBron James still wants a little bit of stake because he said he wants to own an NBA team. And it was Vegas that he wanted. Doesn't know, and we don't know if that's going to happen now. But there's your news, there's your kicks, there's your hot take. I probably ticked off a bunch of people in Memphis. I probably made a lot of friends in Nashville. Otherwise, Seattle and Vegas are coming, and I'm closing the bar. What is your take of Seattle and Vegas? They will most likely be coming to the NBA, and 32 will be 32. Bar is closed. And I love you.